Hey, what's going on? My name is Kelly, and I am going to show you how to automate your lesson plans so that you can get more time on your hands. The reason that I wanted to automate my lesson plans is because I was getting really frustrated at having to always go either online and individually look up the standards that I was aligning my lesson plan to, or I had to take a printout and type up the letters and all of that. And I teach multiple grade levels. I teach English as a second language. So it was a lot of searching and typing and copying and pasting. And I just wanted to see if there was a faster way. So if you are interested, you need to have four things to get started. First off, you need Google Docs, you need a Google form, and you need a Google Doc of the standards, and then also the Google add-on, which is called Form Publisher. So I'm on Form Publisher's website, and it's just a Google add-on. It's free. So you would click on this, and mine is already installed, but you would click on the install button, and then you're ready to go. The next thing you're going to want to do is to take your standards for whatever grade level and whatever state. You might follow Common Core, TEKS, whatever it is that you follow. I'm based in New Jersey, so I do the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. And just for today's video purposes, I'm taking the kindergarten reading standards. So I copied and pasted the standards onto a Google Doc and kind of cleaned them up. And you're going to want to do this because you're going to be copying and pasting the standards into a Google form. And when you copy and paste from like the websites, I find that it formats things kind of strange. So when I copied and pasted the standards onto my Google Doc, you'll sometimes the formatting got a little wonky, so I just cleaned it up a little bit, and I kept the titles because this will be part of the Google form. So I put in bold key ideas and details, and then all of the standards that fall underneath of that. Then we have craft and structure, integration of knowledge and ideas. So again, I just kind of cleaned this up a little bit and I saved it as K standards. You can save it however you'd like. It's just so you have a place to copy and paste things and it's nice and formatted and all of that. The next thing you're going to want to do is create a Google Doc lesson plan template. So here is mine. You can make it look however you'd like. So like, you could go make a Google Doc. It could be anything like a table of some sort. You can insert however you want it to be formatted. It's up to you. So like for me, every time I'm writing lesson plans, I always like to include like a date, the theme or topic. I include the content objective. Because I teach ESL, I do language objectives. And then you would do your standards, learning. I call it like the learning plan. You could do the learning plan, whatever it is, and then you can format it to make it look however you'd like it to look. So it doesn't have to look like mine. It can be very simple. So here you can see I have the same things I was just talking about, but I listed this as a K-Klein sample lesson plan template. And we have my content objectives. Students will be able to ... There's my language objectives, the standards, the learning experience, and then my assessment. Over here, I have differentiation, modifications, and it looks how I want it to look. Everything's good. So then you don't need to worry about this part that I have right now. You just want to make sure that you have everything looking the way that you want it to look in terms of the template. Then you'll open up a Google form. I titled this Kindergarten Sample Lesson Plan. Here, when you want to go and make a question, you just click this plus sign and then your question will open up. You have a few options on how you want to create your question on the Google form. You can do short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, whatever you'd like. So for me, I did title and then I would make that short answer. And the last thing you're going to want to do for everything except your standards, you're going to want them on your Google form to be required. So that way you're not skipping over anything. And if it's a required question and you accidentally skip, Google won't let you send it. You'll have to complete that. So I like to make these certain questions and parts of my lesson plan to be required. The reason we're using this Google form is because everything that we enter in on our form will be populated and generated into our lesson plan template on Google Docs. So I'm just going to delete this since I already have it. So you can see this is a required question. Then we have the date. Why is this not this should have an asterisk. Okay. Then we have my content objectives, the language objectives. And as you can see here, I took, let me exit out of this. I went back to my standards and then you'll make this part of the question. So these titles and headings that you have for your standards will actually be the name of the question. Then you're going to make sure that you make this check boxes instead of multiple choice, because whenever you're lesson planning, sometimes we're meeting more than one standard in a specific category. Okay. So this will give you the option to check off as many standards as you need to. The one thing to note, though, is that I did not make these sections required because you're not always meeting standards for specific categories. So that would be important to not make it required, so that way you don't have to fill that part in if your lesson doesn't align with the standard that you have listed. So I have all of that. Here's my Google form. So now we're ready to make sure that our Google form language matches our Google Doc lesson template. So everything that you have on your Google form, you're going to want to just copy and paste it exactly like you have in your Google form. Otherwise, Form Publisher will not be able to populate the information onto the Google Doc template. So here we are. I did that. This is the information, the carets, and then everything in your Google form, the way that it's worded, will be here. So I have this. Everything looks good. Okay. So, for example, like I'm going to show you, like for this content objectives, we're going to paste it. And I'm going to take away these ... dots just so that way you can kind of see what happens when it doesn't exactly match up. But I'm going to continue doing that. You do the little carets on both sides as the code, and you put in whatever is on your Google form exactly as it should be displayed on your Google template, your Google Doc template. Okay. So now once you have your Google form and your Google Doc typed up the way that you need it to be typed up with the carets and then the exact phrasing and wording as your Google form, you're ready to run your form publisher. So I'm going to go back to my Google form. And then up here in the top right-hand corner, you can see this kind of like puzzle piece. these are where your add-ons will live. So you'll click on that, and then you'll click on Form Publisher, click Get Started. Takes a few moments. Let me move this over. So it's going to create a template selection. There's pre-formatted templates that you can use on Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, or Google Slides. No, you're not choosing any of those because you have created your own lesson plan template. So I'm going to click Select Template. Then it's going to open up your drive. And again, it takes a few minutes. So I'm going to click on this sample lesson plan, select. And then it should start to analyze everything. So the Form Publisher analyzed the Google Doc template that I chose and selected, and it's saying, nope, I can't read it. One question is not found. And that was because I wanted to show you what happens. And it will tell you when you click the caret that my content objective students will be able to is not matching up. So what I'm going to do is go back to my Google form, click copy and paste it back into my Google Doc template. So now once I run Form Publisher again, it should make sure that it looks good. It should say that it's okay. So you click the refresh button. Now it's just reading to make sure that my Google Doc template is accurate and that everything matches up in my Google form. Again, it says that one question is not found. So let's see what's. So everything matches now. Everything says the 11 matching markers, and it all aligns. So now what we're going to do is we are going to preview our form and start typing in our answers. So here we'll call this All About Penguins. I just did a lesson on this. I'm going to pick my date. Students will be able to read and retell story events. Do something like that. My language objective will be students will be able to retell a story using sequence words and complete sentence. Let's rephrase that, using complete sentences and sequence words. Now we're going to say that with prompting, they'll be able to retell, ask and answer questions. We'll do this one. And we'll have a warm-up in my class, some guided reading, and closure. Usually have an interactive notebook. Then we have our discussion and our notebook. We will have sentence frames as my differentiation. Everything looks good. Might even mark the text. There we go. Now I'm going to click submit. And I'm going to go into my Google Drive. There's a folder that I've created where the kindergarten lesson plans will go. And as you can see, we have my lesson, which is now populated onto my Google Doc template. Here it is. All of my standards are here. And let's see, can we scroll down? I'll move myself over. And you can see I have my learning experiences and some of my modifications, but it all lives here, and I'm ready to share this. Some features that Form Publisher has is you can actually automatically share your lesson plans with like a co-teacher or an administrator. which is really nice. I'm old school. I like to just share it on my own versus with the form publisher. But if you want to even automate that and not have to send your another email in your day, that is a really nice feature that you can use. So yeah, this is how you can automate your lesson plans. Thank you so much.